Hello class, welcome to lesson 21 where we are going to be converting units with ratios. Now at first glance today's lesson isn't very extensive, it's not very hard, it actually fits into half a page so I don't need to pause it, we don't need to slide up and down, you can just copy from what you've got right here. Now let's take a look at our question. How can I use ratios to show unit conversions? And now here when I'm talking about units, I'm talking about just words that describe quantities. So we could say like a foot or liters or let's say miles, any of these typical units that we'd see on a quantity. To make this even more clear, let's come over here and just see if we can create a little unit table to help us just sort of remember what sort of stuff we're talking about. Here are a few really common unit conversions. So let's say 1 yard is 3 feet. Hopefully you know that. Let's say 12 inches is 1 foot. 5,280 feet is 1 mile. Now, those are the kind of things we're talking about. So let's come back over here to our notes. In order to write those as a ratio, it's actually extremely simple. All you do is you take what the quantities are. So example, if there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton, write this as a ratio. Now here the words are very important. Ratio of pounds to tons is 2,000 to 100. All you really have to make sure you do here is that you write all this information. The ratio of pounds to tons is, and since you started with pounds, 2,000 pounds has to be your x value. Since your second quantity was tons, your y has to be 1 ton. So it really is just 2,000 to 1. That's your ratio. Now, in order to convert these quantities into larger or smaller values, you do the same thing that we have done pretty much for the last week or two. You take step 1, which is write your ratio. So let's do an example real quick. What if we did how many feet are in, say, 16 yards? Okay, that is our question. So if we are looking at feet to yards, this is what we've got. We know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. From this point, we've done step 1, and we need to do step 2, which is write our goal. If we're starting with 1 yard, and we know from our question we need to get to 16 yards. 16 yards goes down here, and we want to know how many feet that is. Now we know in order to get from 1 to 16, we have to multiply by 16. And whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. So we're going to multiply 3 times 16 as well. 3 times 16, if we don't know that off the top of our head, 16 times 3, 3 times 6 is 18. Where your 8, carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. So 48. So we want to take that 48, bring it back up in here for our feet. So we know that 16 yards is 48 feet. Not too bad. All things that we have seen before. So if we come back over here to our notes, the Your Work section is going to be that type of a problem. How many pounds are in 18 tons? Remember, this information from up top, you need to know that there are 200 pounds in 1 ton. Have that ready at the beginning of class tomorrow.